This is a biodiversity case study on the western lowland gorillas, a critically endangered species. The western lowland gorillas are smaller and lighter than the other gorilla subspecies, with short hair, a wider skull, and a more pronounced brow ridge. Their ears also appear small in relation to their head. The exact number of western lowland gorillas is not known because they inhabit some of the most dense and remote rainforests in Africa. The habitat of the western lowland gorillas is the rainforest, especially those in Central Africa in places such as Cameroon, Central African Republic, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Angola, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. As you can see, here is an image of the distribution of these western lowland gorillas in Africa. The western lowland gorillas are herbivorous, an animal that gets its energy from eating plants and only plants. In this case, the western lowland gorillas feed mainly on leaves and stems. The western lowland gorillas are critically endangered. Some of the biological factors that have resulted in the species' status to decrease are first of all its lower reproductive rate. The western lowland gorillas reproduce very slowly. The average size of the male western lowland gorilla's reproductive organ is typically between 30 to 40 centimeters, and it stops growing after a few years of age. Also, if an adult is killed, it takes over a decade to replace him or her as a breeding individual. Therefore, causing the gorilla population to decline and to be very slow and reducing the possibility of more gorilla babies being born. Another biological factor is the narrow distribution. As western lowland gorillas only live in Central Africa, the possibility for them to be endangered is relatively high because they only live in countries in Africa and not in any other part of the world. If something happens specifically in Africa and affects the western lowland gorillas negatively, then they will all be gone and disappear from the entire community, as there are no other western lowland gorillas living somewhere else. Some of the external pressures that have caused the western lowland gorilla's population to decrease are hunting and trade. Hunting and trade is the main threat to western lowland gorillas. They are sought after as food, specifically bush meat, and their body parts are also used in medicine and as magical charms. The impact of hunting on this type of animal population has proven to be dramatic. For example, in northeast Congo, it has been estimated that approximately 5% of western lowland gorillas are killed by hunters each year. Habitat loss and degradation are another external pressure that have caused the western lowland gorilla's population to decrease. Timber is a major export in Central Africa. Vast areas of rainforest in the western lowland gorilla's habitat in the Congo Basin have been destroyed or leased out to the European and Asian logging companies. The increase in timber extraction and the opening of once remote forest areas, together with the easy transport provided by logging vehicles to distant markets, have also facilitated the bushmeat trade. In addition, the expansion of agriculture, particularly in the growth in oil palm plantations, also possesses a threat to habitat loss and degradation. Central Africa, the home of the western lowland gorillas, has been dramatically affected by a disease called Ebola, a hemorrhagic fever and internal bleeding disease. Some scientists estimate that Ebola has killed about one-third of the western lowland gorilla population. Evidence also suggests that the virus may still be moving to the Congo Basin, placing a large western lowland gorilla population at risk. The WWF, the Worldwide Fund Nature, an international non-governmental organization founded in 1961, working in the field of the wilderness preservation and the reduction of humanity's footprint on the environment, is an NGO engaged in a number of conservation measures to ensure the survival of our gorilla populations. Examples of the projects include strengthening protected areas that harbor western lowland gorillas, supporting the gorilla tracking program in the Danza Sangha Protected Area Complex, which is a forest in Central Africa, promoting sustainable development of the Danza Sangha Protected Area Complex, including through developing ecotourism and a multiple-use reserve where human activities and forest exploitation are controlled, and at last adapting the human Ebola vaccine to help save gorillas as it is a major threat to them. The WCF, the Wildlife Conservation Society, a non-profit organization that works to conserve more than 2 million square miles of wild places around the world, has a goal to work with range states, with local people, and partners to maximize its conservation reach and impact for gorillas. Some of their strategies toward this include working with local authorities to improve wildlife protection to halt the killing of gorillas for meat, implementing education programs to inform both adults and children about gorillas' vulnerability to hunting. To combat Ebola, they're working to set up a surveillance network with local people over a vast area of the Republic of Congo and created a laboratory in the capital city where rapid processing of wildlife samples can be carried out as well. To combat habitat loss, they are working with national governments and with logging concessions to improve land use planning. The western lowland gorillas are very important to its ecosystem and should be saved because they're one of the greatest seed distributors in the whole forest. Because they eat almost all food and plant matter, almost all of their fecal matter will contain the seeds of the fruits and plants that they eat. This means that wherever the western lowland gorillas defecate, there is some chance that plants will grow there. Another role they play in the rainforest, as small as it may seem, is still important. The gorillas build sort of nests, and when they either die off in that area from natural causes or simply move to another nesting area, other animals of the forest will come to nest in that area. What humans can do in order to help preserve the western lowland gorillas are first of all visiting the gorillas. Money earned through gorilla tourism contributes significantly to the conservation of the species. Secondly, by buying sustainable wood and by purchasing forest products, consumers, retailers, traders, and manufacturers, it helps protect the western lowland gorilla's habitat by encouraging sustainable forestry and limiting illegal logging. Then, by spreading the word, it encourages people about this endangered species in order for them to help and take action.